Hello, everybody, and you're very welcome today. My name is Laura Rinankowski, and I'm an international life and relationship coach. I coach in English, Spanish, Finnish, and Italian. And I'm starting this new project now. I'm starting this new project where I'm interviewing amazing people all over the world, that have so much knowledge to share, with people now. We're in a time of extreme changes. We've all gone through we've all gone through such a huge transformation with everything, in these times of COVID and in these times of uncertainty. And I just wanted to this idea came to me, that I know so many amazing people from all over the world that have so much knowledge in so many different fields. And this is my way to to help get that knowledge out there, give people resources and tools that they can use to improve their lives in all ways now. And the title of this interview series is to reach your full potential, right? Like all of these interviews, everybody that I interview, it's all about waking up to your potential. So my guest today, I have a very special guest today. My guest is Grainne Tyndall. And Grainne and myself have known each other for a very long time, and we've given workshops together as well, where we've combined coaching and numerology in these workshops. And Grainne has so many talents. Grainne is an international numerologist, and she's a soul seer, and she helps heal family trees as well. So you're very welcome today, Grainne. Nice to have you here.
Lovely to be here, Laura. Thank you for having me.
It's so nice. It's so nice to have you today, Grainne. And do you want to expand a little bit more on everything that you do, because you just have so much knowledge? Yeah.
I've been around a while, but it's more. Yes, exactly. Thank you for that kind introduction. I am an international numerologist, and I'm based in the southeast of Ireland. And I have helped over the last 20 years. I've helped thousands of people to uncover and discover their life purpose, and that can be done through the wonderful medium of numerology. And numerology is the ancient science of numbers. It's been around for thousands of years. And it
Yeah.
was good old Pythagoras who would have kind of fine tuned it to the way that we use it today. And
Mm-hmm.
that would have been the system I would have trained in. And,
Yeah.
yeah, and it would have been a tradition that was passed down. It wasn't written down, it was just passed down. And so therefore, it was only in recent times it was actually written in books and so forth.
Mm,
So
mm.
it's a fantastic tool to know, because when you learn to use it, and I've been using it now for over 20 years, plus using other skills I have, that
Mm.
it encompasses like helping people to really get to know thyself. And that's what it's about.
Yeah, definitely,
Mm,
definitely. And anybody that knows me knows that I love numbers and I love numerology. I'm always looking at dates, yeah, I'm always talking about numbers. So yeah, so I'm a
yeah.
huge fan of numerology. Yeah, and today the 28th of June is one of my favorite days as
There
well.
you go. Yeah, because, well, we're in such interesting times, as you said in the
Mm,
beginning there in the introduction. We're in the most extraordinary times. And for me as a
yes.
numerologist, like 2020 itself, what happened from 2020 onwards was very much, it was unprecedented. But when you look at it numerology wise, it was all about coming home to self, because
Yes.
2020 adds to the four. The four is about the heart
Yes.
chakra, but it's also about the heart of the home. And all of us
Yes.
were locked down, let's face it, around the whole world. So
Mm,
therefore it was coming back to yourself, coming back to our own values. And what's
yes.
very interesting, 2021 is very different. It's very much about breakthrough, freedom, and what a year already.
Yes.
We're nearly into the
Yes.
seventh month.
Definitely.
Mm. And
Yeah.
it's very much about change and radical, like absolutely life crashing change. So I feel
Yeah.
this year a lot of we've seen it, tornadoes, volcanoes,
Mhm.
earthquakes, all these exciting things. But
Mm,
equally, it's very much about like rapid change, like shocks, shocks to the system.
definitely.
And
Yeah.
we, like, if you look at, if we all take time, which I don't, but we look at the, at the mainstream media, like
Oh,
what is going on is incredible. It's
yeah.
shocking, some of it, and
That's
also what
true.
we see in other forms as well. So it's an extraordinary
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
for
I've
life.
had some shocking shocking things happen to me as well, because like when we're in this kind of energy, you see the changes in your own life,
Yeah,
in like in your own personal life, and then in the outside world as well, right? So we're in
yeah,
that kind of energy right now, aren't we?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
we've a lot more changes to come. And
Oh yeah.
I do a podcast every week on anchor.fm, and
Okay.
basically this podcast I just did it for July of 2021. And
Yeah.
what we can expect numerology wise is,
Yeah.
again, we have that 7 energy, which is
Mm.
because it's a month, and it's all about healing the family tree, learning
Ah,
from the past,
right.
not repeating the same patterns. And the 5 energy obviously is the year 2021. So together, July is a 3 energy, because 7 and 5 is 12, and 1 and
Mm.
2 is 3. That's how we decide the personal
Yeah.
month. And
Yeah.
for us, I believe anyway, as a numerologist, I believe this month we're going into in July will be very much around creation. It's a 3 energy, which is the number of creation, as you probably know, Laura. And
Yes.
it's all about speaking the truth. So again, more
Mm.
truths being revealed. And it's the big
Wow.
reveal this month. This month is about the big reveal. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of
You
truths coming.
you still don't know what that big reveal is, but there's going to be like big reveals in the world in general.
It's happening, I feel. I mean, if you look
Yeah.
at our own private lives, it's happening constantly.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
when you look at mainstream media, I mean, it doesn't take much to see what's really going on. But and it's
Yeah.
equally very much about the people coming together to speak up and be heard
Yes,
and speak our truth.
definitely, definitely.
Yes,
And it's no coincidence, that my interview series is happening now too, because that's even
yes,
aligned.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Everything is in
Yeah.
divine order. But for this
Yeah.
month, July is very much around healing the past. And for me
Mm.
as a numerologist, you kindly mentioned a lot of my work has evolved into healing family trees. So I
Yeah.
guess I'll explain what that means. When I do a chart for somebody based on their name from birth and date of birth, I look for patterns in numbers. So when
Yes.
numbers are repeated, it tells me that there's some message in a soul level to be learned. And then I look at the family name that we come in on, because I
Yeah.
believe the essence behind numerology is that we've actually chosen the family and the circumstances into which we're born to
Yeah, me
learn the
too.
lessons, right?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
And so therefore, when I look at patterns or a chart, I can see what we can look at to change that. And together with coaching, I can help people to understand it and to heal it. So
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
fascinating how, you put all of these different dynamics together. It's like what I always say, the more tools you have and the more aligned everything is,
yes.
the better the results, right? And I mean, I
Yeah.
think that now, there's so many tools out there, right? And one thing that I always say to people is, yeah, like there's so many resources and there's so many tools like to help you and heal you in all different ways, right? But you always have to use whatever resonates with you, right? Whatever
Yes.
resonates with you at the moment is
Yes.
what you should use, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I feel what the reason we come onto Earth in the first place, the premise behind numerology is that we choose the family that we were born into. They're our master
Yes.
teachers. So whether we knew our
Yes.
family or not, it makes no difference. It's part of your story. And at the end of the
Yes.
day, everything is a story, and it's to
Yeah.
learn from the story. And
Yes.
it doesn't mean it's easy, or it doesn't mean it's always hard. It just means learning. And the more we do that, the more you know who you are, the more you can embrace this experience. That's what it's all about.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And that is such a huge part. And that's something that I talk about in my coaching all the time. I always
Yes,
talk about the stories. I
yes,
always tell people, what story are you telling yourself about you, about your past, about relationships, whatever it is, right? And those
yes,
stories, when you start looking at those stories, I mean, many times those stories are incredibly negative, incredibly
mm,
negative. And then the
mm,
people wonder, why they can't attract nice things into their life. Why can't they attract nice relationships into their life? And I
Yeah.
say, you know, if you're constantly telling yourself a negative story, there's no way, like energetically, there's no way that you can
Yeah.
attract something nice and positive, right?
Absolutely. And a lot
Yeah.
of the time we carry, the dynamic from the past, from our ancestors. So what's
Yeah.
unfinished in one generation does come
Yeah.
through the next. And so
Yeah.
therefore, some of us have been chosen to be the tiebreakers, the ones who break the
Mm,
ties with the
yes.
binds that carry us through. And
Yeah.
that's where numerology is so fascinating, because from numerology you can find out so much about a person and why, and what is their potential and skills, what is it they're here to learn and grow from, when's the
Yeah.
right time to do things. And also, of course, we would have done this in a workshop we did years ago,
Mm,
the collaboration of the compatibility of numbers, because numbers, there are certain
yes.
numbers that do not match. But
Yeah.
again, it can all be changed when you know who you really are.
Mm,
You can embrace that. So that's really the key.
that's
So that's
true. That's
yes.
true. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, and I think that that's a really good point that you brought up there, that we can change, right? Like it's a bit like, you know, when somebody one saying that I love is, you know, if you don't like where you live, you know, you can move, you're not a tree. And in you know,
yeah.
like in a way, you know, if you don't like a pattern that you have, if you don't like something that you're doing in your life, you can change. You know,
Yes.
because a lot of people feel stuck in their patterns and they don't know how to change these patterns, and
Yes.
they
Yes.
can
And that's why,
definitely.
as you say, you will, if you have the conscious effort to actually make decisions to change, the people will come, the situation will come, or the right person will come to support you. And of course, it's
Definitely.
tuning into who you are, your soul, and
Yeah.
your soul is your real you. Your soul is infinite. Your soul is your divine essence. And so therefore, when we connect in with our soul, in
Mm,
whatever way that is, it could be astrology, numerology, coaching, tapping,
yeah.
whatever, healing.
Yeah.
It's all part of getting to be able to get through this experience. And especially now, Laura, like, I'm seeing a lot of people from everywhere as well around the world. And a lot of people are struggling at the moment because
Yes.
we're literally embracing into a whole new way of being. And
Yes.
we're on the parapet, and then, yeah, boom, we're ready to go. And yet there's a part of us afraid to fly. And that's what July
Exactly.
is going to be
Yeah.
about. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
so July, like I heard somebody else, you know, say that, you know, one of my other speakers, you know, mentioned that yeah, that July is like a month you let go of the fear and you just like go for it, you know, like you let
Mm.
go of the fear and just, you know, go for those dreams and go for those ambitions. That's what you're
Yeah.
talking about, right?
Yeah, yes, it would be, but it's more about, for me in
Mm,
numerology, it seems to
mm,
be more about everything that you have been working upon up to this point
yes.
is going to start showing itself. Now, this is
Yes.
collectively and also personally. And
Yes.
so ultimately, this is a time of recognizing, the power of your thoughts, the power of intention. And that's why I
Yes.
love seeing the idea of people coming together around the world, be it
Yeah.
walking in peace or it's in a peaceful way, but getting our
Yes.
point across. And that's what this is about. It's the truth, our truth,
Yeah.
whatever that truth is.
Speaking your truth.
Yes.
Speaking
And
your truth. Yeah.
and also trying to be and to recognize that you, whoever you are watching this or listening to it, that you are a part of this collective experience, and therefore you do
Yes.
matter. You have important, even though you might feel, sure, who's going to listen to me? That's not the point. It's all energy. And the more
Definitely.
energy we put out there to change and to bring positive change to this world,
Yes.
the more we will
Yes.
embrace it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that, you know, many people talk about, you know, the new earth, right? Like in
Mm,
terms of, you know, what is this new earth? Because I think that many people are thinking about the world and earth kind of like you think about life, you know, pre-COVID and like you know, during COVID and after COVID, right? So in a
mm,
way, you know, like the life that we knew it's never going to be the way that it used to be, right? So
no,
what kind of
can't be.
earth exactly? Yeah, exactly. So what kind of earth do we want to build now, right? Like what kind of earth do we want to build together? And I think that
Yeah.
that's something really important that every
Mhm.
single person should think about, right? And
Yeah.
as Gandhi famously said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And it's so true.
Mhm.
It's so true, especially
Yes.
now.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's a very good point. And you know, the new earth. I mean, the ancient ones would have spoken about this. The Mayan calendar and so forth.
Yeah.
That was meant to happen. Well, 2012, and it did. But I
2012.
think it was more 2021, really. Or
Right.
yeah,
The
yeah,
one and the two got inverted.
yeah.
Like,
I
yeah.
genuinely do, and I feel the 21st of December 2021. That's going to be
That's going to be the big one.
off the Richter scale. Yes.
Okay.
And I,
Yeah, that feels right. That feels right. Yeah.
it really is. It's like a paradigm. So it's a very important one. And
Okay.
or palindrome, I should say. But I feel it's like, the new earth, and Eckhart Tolle would have spoken about that as well in
Yeah.
that wonderful book.
Yes.
We are a part of creating this new earth. And so
Definitely.
therefore, we have to be the ones, because every single piece of a jigsaw makes the bigger picture. So we have to be the parts that put our part to play in this. And that's why I'm
Definitely.
very passionate. And I know I'm all over social media because I'm always talking about what I believe. It doesn't mean to believe a word of what I say. It's more about my belief. It's bringing people to
Yes.
a safe place of awareness.
Exactly. Exactly. And yeah, exactly. And like what I always say, in terms of, in terms of creating this new earth, and in terms of, manifesting things into your own life and everything, of course, the better you know yourself, right? Because, I am a relationship coach, right? So I work a lot with relationships, and of course, the most important relationship you're ever going to have is the one with yourself, right? Everything begins and ends with you, right?
Yes.
So, the more aligned you are with yourself, with your with the universe, with your life purpose, with all of that, when you feel good and confident and all of that, then, the universe will bring people, events, and circumstances into your life, which will help you manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest, right? And
Yes.
then of course, the higher your energy is, the higher your frequency is, the better you feel about things in general, the more you're going to manifest. So in a way, you can think about, what do you want to manifest for your own life, and what do you want to manifest in the world at large, right?
Yes.
So I think,
But
yeah.
yeah, but by our presence alone, like that's
Yeah.
why numerology is so powerful. Like from the moment the light hits the pituitary gland and you're into whatever family you're born into,
Yeah.
you begin your journey of continued journey of your soul. And we've been here
Yes.
countless times. I mean,
Yeah.
and there's other different dimensions and planets that we know about, but ultimately
Yeah.
Earth, I feel Earth is the greatest experience we'll have because our bodies are
Yeah.
so dense. Our
Exactly.
spirit
This
is
is like the
big.
biggest school, right?
Yeah.
This is like
And
the
that's
biggest school. Yeah.
absolutely. And that's why,
Yeah.
when we go into the dream state, that's why woohoo, we're free. So,
Yeah.
but it's so important at this time, Laura, and for all your listeners that and viewers that, we have to keep grounding ourselves, earthing ourselves,
Yeah.
because, and that's
Yes.
why I'm very practical. I mean, I work with numbers, but I work with spirit as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's to try and combine both. And whilst yes, we can and are the manifestor of our lives, there has to be a practicality in that as well.
Yeah.
In
Definitely.
my experience.
Yes.
So
Yes.
earthing ourselves, grounding ourselves, making sure you have a spiritual practice, that brings
Yeah.
that awareness to us. And when you know yourself, you will be able to create what you want.
Definitely. I totally agree, especially with the grounding part, because, in my own, natal chart, I don't have any earth or land. So I surround myself with earth and land people, to
Yes,
ground
very
me,
important.
and
Yes,
and things like, being out in nature, like being in parks, being close to trees, like all of that helps, right? Like nature is
yes,
nature plays a very
yes,
big part in that. And what
yes.
would you say, like if you were to give, your top tips, like let's say your 5 top tips, for people now, what would you say that they could do on a daily basis,
Mm,
to connect with themselves more and to ground themselves
yeah.
more, using numbers, or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I guess energetically, 2021 is a 5. And
Yes.
it's very much around the head. It's around mental. It's around we have a lot of mental health challenges for a lot of people at the moment. But it's also about coming into that awareness as well of using your mind. I believe we have three minds: here, and in our stomachs. So
Yeah.
for me, if I was to give you 5 tips, I would
Yeah.
feel that we need to earth ourselves, because a lot of us are in our head. And
Yes.
technology as well would be part of that.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
so thank God for technology, we're able to connect, so that's really good.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say first thing is have a spiritual practice. It doesn't have to be prayer, of course, it can be, but it could be listening to an affirmation. It could be just setting an
Yeah.
intention for the day. Um,
Yeah.
Equally, trying to get adequate sleep. I know these are basics, but I think it's so important. A lot of us are
Yeah.
sleeping a lot more because the energy is so dense. Because there's a
Yes.
lot of fear out there. So it's about
Yeah.
really making sure you're protected and shielded. I would certainly say that before you do anything in your day. Shield,
Yes.
protect, and ask for guidance and direction. That's really
Yes.
important.
Yes.
So that would be the spiritual part. I mean, obviously things like yoga, Tai Chi, Pilates, all of those physical embody,
Mm.
walking,
Yes.
running, swimming, the basic. See, this
Yeah.
is what this whole 2020 was coming back to self, coming back to the heart. It's all
Mm.
about literally back to basics. And it was, we
Yeah.
all went, everything just was stripped back. And now
Exactly.
we're on the roller coaster, like we're in the fifth year. So we're on the up here now, we're ready to go. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very important now that we find that tool to try and not stop the growth, but to try and be aware of how fast things are changing. And to, as you
Yes.
said, by Gandhi, be a part of the change the
Be a
way you look
part
at
of the
things.
change.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Be
I
a
don't know if
part of
I
the
answered all the
change.
5 of them, but ultimately, number wise, if I was to give a
Yeah.
number wise, like I guess I can only relate to, say, this month of June. This is June 28th, as you said. And
Yeah.
I mean, for me, this is an 11 month. And it's very much about illumination, and it's very much about things being highlighted, and polarity. It's about extremes. Like you can see
Yeah.
that. Not
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
politically, we're
Definitely.
talking medically, educationally,
Yeah.
physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. It's all been polarized, like pulled
Yes.
apart. The old systems are falling. They're literally falling down around us.
Yeah, the old systems are yeah, there's no denying that. There's no
No,
denying that the old systems are falling apart. That's why so many people are so confused and disoriented, because they're watching the old systems fall, and then they're
yes,
like, okay, what's next? So,
yes,
what's next? So I
yes.
think it's about taking responsibility as well, right? It's
Yes,
it's it's kind of like, okay, what can I do now? Like
yes.
yeah, yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
I love that word. I love playing with words. So, responsibility is the ability to respond. So,
Right. Yeah.
changing it, and how we
Yeah.
respond or react will
Yes.
generate the response,
Yeah.
the outcome, I should say. So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's an
Yeah.
extraordinary time. So
It really
embrace
is
it.
an extraordinary time. And now it's
Mm,
444, which is an angelic number.
it surely is.
It's the
Four,
angels
four,
are with
four.
us as well.
The angels
444.
surround us, yes. And when you see
Yeah.
numbers triply, triple is 3 is the number of creation. So when you see a
Yes.
number repeated 3 times, and we say in like 111, 222,
Yeah.
basically that tells you that, whatever the message is. If I can share a story about that, actually,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
a lovely story. Um, 4 years ago, my mother was very sick. She was dying,
Yeah.
and she was in the hospital. And I was talking to Spirit, and I said, help me. My sister lived in Toronto. I had to make that dreaded phone call, and I was waiting for a sign. I said,
Yeah.
Angels, show me when my mother will probably leave. And I
Yeah.
kept seeing the numbers 222. Now, I mean, everywhere. And they were always together in 222. I'd
Yeah.
wake up at 222. I'd see car regs, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And my mother ended up passing away on the 22nd of the 2nd at
Oh my.
11:02.
Oh, are you serious? I just got goosebumps. I just
Mm,
got cosmic goosebumps, as I call them these days.
yeah,
Cosmic goosebumps.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. She made a transition.
Wow.
So I was able to make that phone call because I watched for the signs. Now that's an extreme case, but I've been doing this for many, many years.
Yeah.
But so that
Yeah.
when I see numbers repeated, I usually know it's a very big sign. And so,
Yes.
like, numbers surround us from the moment you've come in, you're weighed, you're measured, your time of birth, and
Yeah.
so forth, and then to the time you make your transition. You know, we really are everything else we make up. So, it's so
Yeah.
important to be able to then therefore say, okay, well, what is it I wish to experience? And the more you
Yeah.
can look for the clues, the more the clues will come. And that's where someone like me comes in.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And as I mentioned, I mean, I love numbers. So I love numbers. And it's so funny because I'm not good in math, but I love numbers. I
Yeah.
love the numbers. I love the symbolism behind the numbers, the meaning of the
Yeah.
numbers. I'm always
Yeah.
doing countdowns. I'm always counting things. So yeah, my life
Mm.
definitely revolves around numbers.
Well, I feel
Yeah.
most of us do because we're surrounded by them, and numbers are a vibration, just like
Yes,
color, just like sound. So everything
definitely.
is connected. So when you look for the signs with numbers, and I think the biggest phenomenon in recent times is the 1111. That's a big.
Yeah.
I mean, if you there's millions of websites
Yes.
about
I
1111.
see 1111 all the time. All the
Yes.
time.
So,
Yeah.
so it
Yeah.
means that therefore you're on a spiritual path, that you're right on track, that
Yeah.
it's literally
That's
an
definitely true.
yeah, and it's literally, you're you're going through the portal, and I always see the 11s as being these beautiful,
Yeah.
pillars of
Yeah.
stone or marble.
Yeah. They're kind of like pillars of light, right? Like,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
walking through them because you're on your journey. And when you see 1111 all the time, it means like, are you listening? Are you doing what you're meant to do? Do you remember your soul plan? And
Yeah,
that's
I
how I,
definitely do. I definitely
yeah,
do, especially
yeah.
right now, especially in this interview.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's the thing. It's about, the more we look for the signs will be given to us.
Definitely,
Mhm.
definitely. Wow,
Yeah,
all of this is so fascinating, Grania. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all your knowledge.
you're
And
very welcome.
how can people find you? How can people
Yes,
find you?
thank you. Well, my
Yeah,
company is called Numbers for Success. So it's numbers and the number four,
yeah,
success.com. I think there'll be links down below.
yeah, yeah. Well, yeah,
And
I'll post the links. Yeah.
yeah, so I help people. I do an hour-long session or a half an hour, whatever people need.
Mhm.
And, it involves their date of birth and name from birth. And I can help them understand what their soul's contract is. That's what I do.
Yeah.
And also looking at their family dynamic. So if people want
Right,
to
right.
chat me,
So
absolutely, I'll be delighted to talk to them.
yeah, that's great. Well,
Yeah,
thank you so much, Grania. Like I said,
pleasure.
we could be here talking about this all day. I mean, we've given
Sure you could.
workshops. Yeah, we've given workshops on this together
Yeah,
and everything. So yeah, thank you so much
bless you.
for sharing all your knowledge.
It's been my honor.
And I hope to see you soon in person, because I haven't seen you in person in such a long time.
Few years,
I'm
all right.
sure, yeah, exactly. I'm sure that the moment will come
I do.
that
Thank
we'll
you
see
so
each
much,
other
Laura.
in person again. And
Many blessings.
yeah, thank you so much. And I'm sure I'll speak to you soon anyway.
Yeah. Thank you, Laura. Take care.
Thank you so much,
Bye-bye.
Grania. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.